Hi everyone. So empty and so small. Anyway, today I'm just going to share with you my experience with this NVMe drive coming from Biwin, known as the Black Opal X570 PCIe Gen 5 SSD. That's right, this is a Gen 5 SSD and it's of 2TB. Thanks to Biwin to have provided this unit for me to share with you guys. The packaging itself is pretty solid. It's neat and tidy, showing you with a window of the model. And what's inside the package? Well, obviously I've opened up the seal. What's inside it? This is what is inside. The drive itself, a screwdriver, and the M.2 screw. Now when you remove this cover, please be careful not to drop the M.2 screw. So they have prepared this for you just in case that your motherboard doesn't come with or you have a old motherboard that you don't have the screws, right? They provided this for you, nicely thought. And not only that, okay, let me just take out the screws. They have provided a portable screwdriver, which is pretty cool. This is for you to fasten the M.2 to your motherboard. Now, as mentioned, this is a Gen 5 drive. I will talk about the specs in a short while. And this is of a size 2280. And what does the 2280 means? For most of the NVMe, it means 22mm by 80mm in length. Now I'll be testing this M.2 with a MSI board known as the X570E HTI. And along with it, a high-end processor, which is the Ryzen 9 9950X. And of course, a beautiful set of RAMs, which right now I'm actually using it. This is an empty box, known as the Biwin Black Opal HX100. I did a content on this. These RAMs are fantastic. The latency is pretty low, and it's able to, it's able to perform at a low wattage, which is 1.4 volt. Now, if you guys have missed the content, right, you can click on my top right hand corner and it will take you to the content of what I've shown to everyone regarding about this RAMs. Now, back to where I was. As I mentioned that I'll be testing this with all the components over here. And now, I'll talk about the specs. The drive is up and running, which you can see here on my background. I'll talk about this later. Now on with the specs. Now this model, the X570, there are two variants, which is Pro or the non-Pro. The one that I'm having is the non-Pro. What's the difference? For the non-Pro, this is a drumless design. Else, if you want a drum M.2, right, choose the X570 Pro. Now both the non-Pro and the Pro are Gen 5, and both have a read-write speed of read 14.5K and write 11K, or should I say 1100 megabyte per second and such. And they are making use of premium TLC NAND for the specification to further let you see what's actually going on. See the form factor, the size of the M.2, and the sizes. You can choose to purchase a 1TB, 2TB, or 4TB, and these are all the specs on the individual sizes, as in like the read write, the ISO and such. Now, as a personal advice, if you wanted to purchase this drive, I would say that go for the 2TB. Reason be, right, for the 1TB, look at the write speed. This is of a Gen 4 write speed. If you want a true Gen 5, right, you should go either 2TB or 4TB. This drive does come with a 5-year warranty and has a, on the 2TB, right, has a endurance terabyte write as 1200. Okay, it's pretty hefty. You can write a lot. Now besides this, right, you can download application where you have this Biwin intelligence. Okay, let me just show you. This is actually over here. See, this is the Biwin application, which I will show you what are the functions over here. Besides this, you can download the specification and such, or the instruction manual. Now back to the drive. Now what you see over here, right, concentrate over here, whereby, as I mentioned to you, I've installed the OS on this drive, which the C drive is Biwin. and I have add another different M.2, which is the Seagate fire cooler. Just wanted to illustrate to you the transfer rate between drives when it's empty and later on when it's full. Same goes to transferring through network. Alright, and over here, right, when I run this crystal disk mark to show you the stats, this is actually a screenshot off from the web to show you the speed. As this will be static, it doesn't show you any graph as such. You can see how consistent it is over here. Over here, read and write. Okay, and of course with the readings over here. Now with this say, right, okay, let me just set this. Let's see how well it performed according to spec. Starting off with the read speed. So as mentioned to you, right, when it reads, see, it will show you the read speed 14.8 to 14.9 K, alright, or 14.9 gig, which matches over here, is way above. Nicely done. Now besides this, right, I forgot to mention that I should pull the temperature. Now take a look at the temperature. It's hovering very nicely. And why are there two sensors over here? I've spoken to Biwin because when I look at the hardware info, right, okay, as I scroll down, I noticed that there are 3 sensors. Okay, where is it? Over here. Yep, see? Okay, by default this is not I should say that this is not this thing. It's just that happened that I chat with Biwin and I got the temperature. So we have temperature 1, 2 and 3. I was asking Biwin how come there are 3 sensors, whereby the first 2 temperature is of the same degree, else for the third one is different. See? Then they have verified with their technician telling me that this M.2, right, they have equipped with 3 sensor probe, 2 NAND and 1 controller, which you can see over here, right. That's why I place it over here, as most of the time, right, the NAND temperature is the same, so that's why I place only 2 over here. As you can see, this is the controller, which they are making use of the Maxio map 1806. This is after speaking to them, so I get to know what controller they are using. And for the NAND, right, they are using Micron NAND. So these are the temperature. Now earlier on, as I mentioned to you, while running, right, you will see the temperature over here, which I forgotten to mention. So I'm going to rerun again. With this say, right, having this run, okay, probably I would do a full I'll just leave it 1 gig and I'll just run the queue longer. So while it's running, right, you can see that it's hovering around 53 degree, 57, and it's like the max is up to 61 degree or so. It doesn't go above that. So it's pretty good. See? And it also depends on the cooling heatsink. It happened that this MSI X570E HTI, right, it has a very thick heatsink. So it's no problem to cool down this M.2 when it's running at high speed. And as you can see, right, it's consistent when I'm running the benchmark. Now, just to stop this. Now, the actual thing, you know that did I miss out the write speed? Now, you know that this is static to show you the stats. How about running it live, where you transfer big files across either the network or the local drive? Okay, I'll just wait for this to finish and to show you the write speed. I'm not too sure that you guys saw the write speed, but anyway, the read speed is absolutely fantastic. It's above 14K, and for the write speed, I'll just have to wait. Supposing this is 10K and this is at 10K. See, it matches. In fact, it's slightly better. So this is on par, or should I say on the dot, doing fine. Now I'm just going to close this. Next will be on the transfer. As you can see over here, I just want to show you that this is C drive Biwin, and this is where the drive is. I'll be transferring file through the network, and do note that I am not using wired cables. Okay, I'm through the Wi-Fi. Let me just show you over here the property, the drive. See, my local connection, right, wired is disabled, else I'm using the Wi-Fi. So through the Wi-Fi, will there be intermittence and such? Well, we shall see. As mentioned, this is my network drive. Okay, I'm going to transfer this 100 gig. In fact, it's around 100 gig if I'm not wrong. Okay, let me just hover and see. It's about 100 gig, 97.8 gigabyte. So I'm going to transfer this and to see how consistent it is. And here we go. So throughout the whole run, right, if you do witness, right, you can read this. Now I'm just going to let this run and you can witness. Probably I'll just put this here and put this up. You can compare yourself the write speed and this, both giving you the graph how consistent it is. And when it's almost ending, right, I will continue on with the local transferring. It's about to end. As you can see throughout the whole run, mind you, this is running through Wi-Fi. So I'm transferring through Wi-Fi, and it has a consistent rate of 2 gig, 2.5 gig and also. See, it's quite consistent as you look. And best part is that throughout the whole run, right, the temperature, if you have not noticed, right, you can rewind and have a look. It doesn't go above 55 degrees Celsius. So this is actually the actual run. And it takes approximately about 3 minutes or so in order to complete a 100 gig file. So this is well done. Now I'm just going to transfer 100 gig again. Okay, this is actually the local from Firecooler. See, 97.8 gig, around there, 100 gig. So when I transfer, right, locally, take a look at the consistency. See, it went beyond, which is good. And it's quite fast. And look at the temperature. Again, it doesn't go over 55 degree. And you can check on the status 2.6 gig and such. It's transferring pretty consistent without any breaks. But I believe at the end, right, there is some dip where this is normal for most of the local transfer. But overall, I should say that it takes less than 1 minute to transfer a 100 gig file across from drive to drive. Okay, about done. Oh, it didn't drop. Okay, sometimes it dropped, but right now it's consistent. See, this is the thing about local drive whereby it does transfer this fast. Okay, now I will talk about the application right now, whereby you have this Biwin. See, now a very nice plotted software, or should I say engineered software, where it shows you the health of the drive, the temperature, and the information on all this, and the interface speed. This is very important. Okay, in UEFI, if let's say you set to auto, sometimes the drive will just run at Gen 4. So with this application, you can tell what kind of speed it's running at. This is a Gen 5, so it's running on PCIe 5 with a full speed of X4, which is good. Then it tell you all the read writes and such. And over here, right, the status of your drive, as in like how much it did occupied or free. Then on the second section, you can scan. If it happens that you have some issues with the drive, right, you can scan, and you will show you a list of status saying that, you know, whether is it okay or not okay. Then followed by this performance. Now for the performance, right, this is one thing that I really like. Okay, I'll just let it run. By the end of the run, I will just talk about it. This application is so fantastic, whereby why do I like it so much? Besides telling you the statistics, as in like the static numbers, right, of the sequential read and write. It does the random read and write too, and it shows you during the duration how consistent it is. See, throughout the run. Well done. Now next will be erase. Now it happened that this is my OS drive, so it will lock, not allowing you to do so. If you have another Biwin drive that is populated in your system, right, it will list over here. You can erase. You can either do a standard erase, which is actually a format, or a secure erase, which remove all the credential data that you don't want others to know if you want to, pass the drive to someone else. Next, you have the migration. Again, if you were to have another M.2 from Biwin, you can do the migration of your current drive to the target drive. Same goes to cloning. You can clone whatever application, your games, etc. on one drive to another, but make sure you're making use of the same brand, which is from Biwin. Now, also a neat feature whereby some of the drives I have to, download the tool, download the firmware and such. This is just a one click. You can check the firmware. In fact, they check it for you when you launch this application. If there's a need, it will ask you to update your firmware. Then followed by the system info. Okay, will tell you what are you on for the OS, the processor that you're using and such. Now, something which I want to talk on about the temperature, which I showed you earlier. The temperature that you see over here, right, based on the fact that this Biwin is in fact a drive without a heatsink, so the thermal greatly depend on your motherboard M.2 heatsink. If it's equipped with it, the thicker it is, the better performance it will be. So take note on this. And in general, Gen 5 drive runs very hot. In this section, I will show you what's the impact of the sequential read and write if I am to fill up the drive about 3/4 full. As you can see here, I have left about 66.9 gig free off from the 2 TB. Reason to have this space here, as I will be running the test with this crystal disk mark, I've set the test size to the largest, which is 64 gig. So when this run, right, the disk space left over will only be around 2.98 gig. During the test, you can check or to tally the speed. For example, the read speed, you can check against here. This is the real life reading. Okay, this is stationary. Same goes to the write speed, which is here. Now I'm just going to run. As mentioned to you, when I run this, right, this will left only 2 gig plus. Let me just refresh. See? So it's almost to the brim of the space, I should say the available space. And while this test is running, right, you can check on the temperature on my right, where you have the controller and the NAND. See how much it goes up during the test. And as you can see over here, as mentioned, you can check the read speed against this. Okay, see, does it go near it? Same goes to the rest. Now, this is going to be a long run, so before it ends, right, I will talk about the results and such. The test is about to end, as yes, there is a slight impact on the read and write sequential speed. As you can see here, if you to compare the stats of the website itself, see, okay, let me just move this. Now this was taken from the website, and of the 2 TB, the read speed, it should be at 14.5K, else with the this full, almost full, it drops about 3K plus, I should say. And for the write speed, yes, it did drop to about 1.1K, around there or so. Now having a static test is not the main thing. I will share with you again, okay, how it reacts when you transfer file. But before I do so, right, if you to notice, if you to rewind, right, the temperature is hovering great. As in, like, it never exceed 65 degrees Celsius. Most of the time, max is until 61 degrees Celsius on the controller. And for the NAND, it's always at 55 and so and such, which is good. Now, to show you the real life test, let me just close this. I'll just open another. Let's see. Okay, let me just do this. I will just open up another, whereby you can see this is actually the Biwin drive. Okay, and in the meantime, I will start off with the network, transferring over the network. Okay, so this is the other PC. Now, this over here has a size of 48.9 gig. I'm going to transfer to this Biwin. Alright, take a look at the speed. See, it's quite consistent. In fact, it doesn't drop at all. I'll just let it run throughout. Okay, you can witness it, how consistent it is. Does it drop or not? Leaving 9 gig or so, as you can see, is quite consistent. It's hovering around 278 to 280, which you can witness over here too, the transfer. And the temperature is hovering great, not an issue. Now I'm just gonna let it stop. So as you can see, the static benchmark might have a difference, and when you're transferring, right, this is the actual thing that you should be experiencing. As some of you have experienced that when you transfer file, right, this thing will just drop. So as shown, this drive does, their capability of sustaining the speed. Now it's done. Okay, I'm just going to delete this because there's not enough space. Now, this is based on having it. Okay, let's see if this does. Oh, I have to delete. Forgotten about it. You have to empty the drive before you can free up the space. Okay, this is done. Okay, now as mentioned to you, for static test, right? Okay, for static test, right, it will show you the stats, but this is real life run. So right now I'm just going to select my local drive. Okay, this is my Biwin and this is my fire cooler, and I'll be taking a 51 gig based on the fact that I only left about 67 gig of space. Okay, hovering over here, see, this is around 50 gig or so. So I'm just going to transfer this file. This is local, okay, SNI, local to local drive. Earlier on, what you witness, right, is from the network through a 2.5 gig connection. Alright, right now I'm just going to transfer locally and see how consistent it is. Wow, it's even faster. This is 2 gig plus. Let's see if it drops. It doesn't show any sign of drop. As you can see, the write speed. Okay, it did drop a bit. Almost near the end, right, it will definitely drop. Unlike from the network. But overall, I should say that it's still sustained. See? Done. Before I conclude, just to show you that Biwin in fact have numerous of products. This is the official website, whereby when you hover over products, right, you can select solid state drive, memory, portable SSD, USB flash drive, memory card, and accessories. And of course, this is in fact this, which is the X570. Now, if you want to purchase this and do not know where to purchase this, you can just hover over to support and click on where to buy. And from here, right, there are listed of shops over here. And if you want to, right, you can just select and to choose the region. Let's say United Kingdom, it will show you where you can purchase it. or United States, or even in Asia country, Japan. So once you selected where you want to purchase, right, you just click on it. It will take you to the Biwin website, or should I say the Amazon website, which is listed over here. And from here, you can just simply click on Biwin and to select the product. Now, obviously, I don't understand Japanese, but my guess should be this. And it will show you, see, these are the products that you can purchase. So it's pretty straightforward. They have really done a very good job, not only on the application, but on the website on where to purchase and such, for the convenience of the end user. Well done. I've forgotten to mention that if you guys want to proceed to Biwin official website to check out on their products, I will leave the URL in my description, or you can scan at my top right hand corner where you have the QR code and it will take you to that page. Now, my take about this Biwin Black Opal X570 PCIe Gen 5 SSD. Well, first of all, the packaging is rock solid. As it's simple, not so complicated, and best part is the packing itself. I forgot to mention that it does come with this leaflet, whereby you scan this, right, it will take you to a quick start guide where it shows you how to start off with this M.2 and the application that you need to download. And besides this, right, attention to details. This is something which I fully respect what they have done. They provide you with a portable screwdriver, okay, a small one, and the additional M.2 screw. This is something which I have not encountered in any of the M.2 drive that I purchased. So this is something pretty nice, a niche kind of way that they do care about their customer. So with this said, right, coming to the performance, well, I have seriously nothing much to talk about. You have witnessed yourself. The read-write sequential speed hits the target as found on the specs. And best of all, you have seen me fill up the whole drive almost to the brim. Yet, it still can perform. Though there are slight drop in performance, not really that great, but it's still, sustained at that speed. And best part is that the thermal, fantastic. Now, I did something wrong regarding about the whole benchmark test. As you guys have watched, right, probably you might say that, hey, Cleo, it's only hovering around 55 or so or below. How come you mentioned that it's not going over 65 and such? Well, most of the time when I test this M.2, right, I witnessed that the max temperature on the controller itself, okay, there are two parts. The controller itself, right, will hit 63 degrees Celsius, but not more. Else for the NAND, right, is hovering very nicely on 55 degrees Celsius. Now, with this said, I am very curious, as I mentioned to you that the controller is making use of the Maxio, let's see, 1806 controller, and the NAND is making use of Micron. Okay, I think I'm going to destroy this, but anyway, for the sake of fun, let me just try to pull this out. Okay, done. Okay. Try not to do this, alright guys. In fact, this whole top section, right, is I should say a thermal pad. Okay, let's see what we have here. See, it's Maxon 1806, and the controller, the NAND. Okay, it's this way. Yep, it's from Micron. Total of 4. Wow, nicely done. Alright, can't really see the NAND, so I'm just gonna do this. Hopefully you can see it. As I check the serial number and everything, right, it checks out well. These are from Micron. Well done. Now, who is this M.2 for? Well, if in general, if you are just a gamer and do like content work and such, right, this is a drive for you. As you witness, the sustainability on the transfer speed, the read-write, it checks out very well. Yes, though I fill up the drive itself, but I mean, this is crazy. Left only 2 gig and yet it still can transfer at that rate. Because most of the time when I use drumless drive, right, despite using drumless drive, in fact, for the Gen 3 and Gen 4, because I witnessed in a way that once it reaches halfway transfer, right, it will just drop drastically. But for this, right, it did not. It still pull through all the way until about 3/4, then it will drop and it will go up again. So this is fantastic. Now, if you are into content creation, full content creation and 3D rendering and such, right, probably you might want to get the X570 Pro. That would be a better choice, as that comes with a DRAM or drum, where that will be consistent. Now, besides this, right, the drive terabyte write, fantastic, is at 1200, which is, you can write a lot, and it has a 5-year warranty. Alright guys, hope you guys have enjoyed what I've shared with you. And with this said, I'd like to thank Biwin to have provided this for me to share with you guys. And for those of you who are actually new to my channel, welcome to my channel. If you like my content, do remember to subscribe and to click on the notification bell button. And please don't forget to click on the like button. That will help my channel a lot. With this said, take care, goodbye, see ya.